MSC Cruisecast is a Triple T production. Now, the Taste, Try, Travel team of Beth and Chris.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of MSC Cruisecast.
That sounded so professional.
Ooh.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Beth.
And
why are we sounding so professional when we have such a crazy podcast today?
Yeah, we said last week that if you were looking for any sort of hard-hitting news to stay away from us this week,
right.
And that started Sunday with
our video on our Seashore 24 series of We Lost a Friend.
Yeah, it's funny about that thumbnail. I realized after like a couple days that I put lost a friend because we lost Steampunk Humpty Dumpty, obviously.
Right.
And I just got a picture from the back of the ship, and I realized that kind of shows the wake, and then I put lost a friend, and it might look like
someone jumped off the
somebody
back.
fell off the back of the ship or something. We had a friend who fell off the back of the ship, and people might have been like, well, I didn't hear anything about that. I didn't hear about anybody that fell off the back of a ship.
So this is the lineup for today's podcast. I have my weekly shout out. Chris,
I don't have a shout out once again.
Chris has show and tell, or talk and tell if you are listening on a podcast version. And then we have a little bit of a story time. Some people aren't really sure. We're going to give you just some of the behind the scenes and some fill in of the holes for Steampunk Humpty Dumpty, and kind of let you know what he means.
Oh, you spilled the beans right away.
We did.
Well, they kind of knew Sunday.
They kind of knew already. And they're going to know by the thumbnail. So
exactly.
First of all,
hold on. Let me put it up then.
Okay.
Since you did it. This is the Steampunk Humpty Dumpty celebration.
Oh, it is?
It's like a
Yay!
wake.
Where's our little...
It's like a wake.
Where's our little... Ding. Oh, it's not up loud enough. I'm trying to get Chris to be technical here. There we go. This week's shout out, 100%, Amanda Johnson. You are amazing. She sent us a picture. She actually has Steampunk Humpty Dumpty on her computer so that when she glances at it, she can get a little giggle. And I love that. I love that.
Because that really is what
that's the whole reason.
Good for.
Exactly. So
is a giggle.
Thank you, Amanda. That was great. I love
that. No kidding. That was awesome when you showed that to me.
All right. So Chris
is going
to start today's podcast.
Yes. Listen.
Okay.
There are people out there like me that they love stickers.
Yes.
And I just want to go over a couple of my favorites.
Stickers are coming back around.
Are they really?
Oh, I remember when I was young, we had whole books of stickers.
Yeah, exactly.
And we collect stickers and yeah.
I had Star Wars stickers. I still have my Star Wars stickers from 1977.
Where are they?
They're in my little Star Wars box.
Oh, are they?
My little tiny Star Wars cards. But I have 400 from 1977
stickers?
through 1980. No, cards and stickers.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But that's where my love of stickers came from. Was getting those baseball card packs, those little chewing gum packs.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And there were stickers in there,
Gotcha.
and I was like, I'll take a picture or a sticker of Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why not?
You betcha.
So your collection has kind of, over the years, we've kind of, not much, but we've collected here and there.
Yeah, I'm choosy with my
very
stickers.
Much so.
I buy a couple a year, probably.
I mean, it's $1 or $2 at the most sometimes, and you're still like,
exactly.
Nah.
So I just want to pull out some highlights. I have a Biltmore sticker that kind of reminds me of one of the reasons that we love to live in Asheville.
This area. Yeah.
It's just this beautiful grounds that the Biltmore sits on. Just absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Definitely worth the trip.
You can tell that he was the richest man in the world at one time.
Exactly.
I have my Wallace and Ladmo from when I was growing up.
How many of you know who Wallace and Ladmo are?
I know.
Or were, I should say.
You have
very
to be
niche, very niche.
You have to be basically my age or maybe a little bit older to know who Wallace and Ladmo is and be in Arizona.
In the West Coast, yeah.
Not even the West Coast, just Arizona.
Okay.
They were in Arizona, that's it.
Okay.
It's a children's program that was really for adults. But they showed cartoons, so kids watched it too. But it was intelligent. I'm not going to go into it. But it was intelligent. They didn't talk down to the kids.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. It was like Monty Python, except on a kid's show.
I've seen a little bit of it, but I'm a little too young.
And they had a song called Ho Ho Ha Ha Hee Hee Ha Ha.
Got it. Okay, so that's your sticker.
And then it's on the sticker they have, plus Ladmo's top hat and Wallace's bowler that are on there. Anyway, and then another one from my youth. I loved the Scooby-Doo cartoons, and this is the Meddling Kids Mystery Club. I'm a now official member of the Meddling Kids.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Then a couple from our travels.
Okay.
There's the Economy Candy.
Oh my goodness, that was from New York City.
Yes.
And that was before we did Maravilia.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we did a
video I forgot about that. It was right
Yeah.
before Maravilia. And I love the sticker because it has a little kid
that was
so excited
great.
about candy, and that's me when I was 7, right there.
You're still like that.
Big old belly because full of candy. I don't like necessarily that kind of candy anymore. I like chocolate more, but yeah, that
was from our dumpling tour on New York City.
Yeah.
So
another one from our tours was we went to an ice cream place in the Cayman Islands.
Waffle Monkey.
The Waffle Monkey. I don't know what a Waffle Monkey is.
No, but they had was it? No, it was a smoothie. I think we got. Or
we got like a
something.
milkshake.
Maybe it's a milkshake.
Yeah, it was like
after we did our snorkeling.
Yeah, it was like 90 degrees and we were drinking a milkshake.
Yeah,
it's a poor choice.
And then we did some Instagram poses on the rocks.
That's right. So I just love it because this is Waffle Monkey. I don't know a Waffle Monkey. Yeah. I don't know. I would like to have a Waffle Monkey.
That's a good memory though of that that trip and that time in the Great. That was our first time there. So
nothing about I would like to have a Waffle Monkey.
No, because you're not getting a monkey.
And then one of my favorite stickers ever is just a picture of a old guy with a great beard.
Do you know where we got that?
Smoking a pipe in his sailor outfit.
Do you know where
and I'm like, that is what I want to be. That is what I dream my life is right there.
Absolutely. And
I don't remember where I got it.
Okay, so this was an advertisement for a stout. This was a stout that you had tried when we were in on the Emerald Princess last year. Yeah.
No, I have the stout sticker.
Oh, wasn't this one?
No, but now that you say that, we did buy that there.
Gone.
We did buy that there, but I still have the stout sticker.
Okay,
it's different than this one.
Okay, then I don't know where that one's
but
from.
No, that's from the same time, the exact same time. And where was that?
Was that on Emerald Princess when we were up in New England?
Yeah, but do you remember the city? Was that Halifax where we were at?
It was Halifax. We were at the beer garden. Yeah.
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 And they had little shops all around it, and there was one that had stickers, and I found this one, and I found the stout one, the stout that I drank there. So, and then the newest sticker to my collection.
Do you have a new sticker in your collection?
What?
Christopher, where did you get that?
What?
What does it say?
Steam. Bring back hashtag Steampunk Humpty Dumpty with a professionally designed.
It's a very good replication. Let me just tell you guys.
Logo that looks like Steampunk Humpty Dumpty.
Chris made this. He did all the artwork. And we kind of like put the pieces and parts together, and he did such a good job. I'm
really happy with the way it turned out.
It doesn't look exactly like Steampunk Humpty Dumpty, but I like our version better.
It's really cool. Like when you look at it next to our videos, of Steampunk Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
Like all the major components plus like the dimensions are pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of that sticker.
So we're gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
What? Go ahead.
No.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna tell you. We'll tell you more after because.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I was gonna go into that, but we can go into more stuff afterwards. So anyway, I just thought that I would bring that up because this is a celebration.
That's right.
Of Steampunk Humpty Dumpty.
Well, okay, so now it's a little bit of a story time. So
where did we first encounter?
Well, let me tell you.
Does yours start before our first encounter?
Well, let me just tell you. And if any of you have been around us or been watching us listening for a while, you might know some of this story. But I'm going to try to kind of put it together kind of concisely. So if for any of those are new to Triple T and are like, what the heck is this, right?
What are you guys talking about? If you made it this long...
If you're still listening to this podcast...
I know, and you don't know what we're talking about, I congratulate you and want to buy you a beer later when I see you. Or maybe a cocktail because I don't like beer.
That's right. MSC is something we never had plans to do. So this is early on in our YouTube, and we were planning on doing cruises and all. And we had already started some cruises, and we had to be convinced by our travel agent to try MSC. So we really didn't know a whole lot, but the only thing that really was going on at the time was a lot of negativity about MSC.
Right. There was stuff
all that was there. So we're like, why do we want to go on there?
All over YouTube.
All over, yeah.
All over the internet was how bad MSC was. Yeah. Everything is so terrible.
Yeah. Food is horrible. There's not nice. I mean, so we literally had to be convinced by our travel agent because she had actually gone on one and then was like, no, you guys will like it. Go for it. And so it was interesting, that trip, because we started out not good, and then we started just enjoying ourselves on the ship, and we started to notice. So we've been on a lot of cruises together, right? So we've been cruising for 25 years now together, and this is the first time we had been on a foreign cruise because we'd always done the big three cruises. And so we immediately start to know the differences. We start to know there's like so many more languages being spoke on the ship, right? The food actually was delicious. Everything was just done just a little different than we were used to. And
the rumor that the captain would stand on the bridge and point at everybody as they came on board and boo them. That wasn't real. Wasn't true.
That wasn't real.
It wasn't true at all. That didn't happen.
So,
boo!
Thank you.
Boo! Boo! Since you took a drink, I threw in an extra boo.
Okay, you done?
Yes.
Okay. So during this whole week, I'm not going to go through all that because you can kind of, watch the videos, and we've talked several times about this. But during this whole week, we are like discovering this new cruise line, basically. And we had gone to several theater shows before that. Mystic Forest.
I think we went to 2. I think that was our third one.
Yeah. So, and I think earlier MSC had a little bit different style with their entertainment. I think the entertainment stood out so much different, right? Like that was one of the things that was so different about MSC.
Like the first 2 shows, we were already like, wow. So they really are creative.
It's like a production.
Yeah. And things are wild on stage and the costumes are incredible. Beautiful. And the sets are incredible. Yeah. And there's I don't know what they're singing about necessarily, but I like it.
Right.
So that was already happening for a couple shows. Yeah.
That stood out already. And so if you think about some of the big 3 cruise lines, it is very typical to have like, oh, it's a Broadway show tonight, and then they just kind of the singers will sing Broadway. They might have some interesting thing in the back, but it wasn't like a production. So when we get on MSC, just like the first 2 shows were already so interesting, and then Chris was excited. And when I tell you he's never been excited to go to a theater show on a cruise ship. He's never been excited until we went on this MSC. And then he's like, I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm excited to see this. And we had seen Mystic Forest, the little poster out front. And we're like, well, what is it about? We still don't know what it actually is about.
We don't, because the picture's just like a green elf or wood nymph or I don't know what it is. Yeah. Standing in front of some trees or leaves or something. And that was it. That was all we knew about Mystic Forest.
So this was halfway into this cruise. We're loving it at this time. We have been eating. I've been like stuffing my face with all the bread and the pizza. Just like, so it was such a big surprise to us because we had gone into this cruise. Like, how are we going to even get videos out of this? It's going to be so like, it's going to be a horrible cruise.
We're literally just going to have like a bunch of videos where we're just being negative, and
exactly,
we don't like doing that. I mean, we want to tell you
the truth,
everybody, what actually happens, but it kind of depressed us going on it beforehand because we were like, we don't want to make 7 videos where we're just disappointed, or there's just things go wrong, or the captain is booing at us, or we didn't want to make 7 videos of that, or 10 videos, or however many we got out of that one.
We were having such a good time, and we loved that it felt exotic, right? Because you had so many people, and this was just coming out of COVID, so there were so many people that were talking different languages than us, and it just was this experience.
We were just out of COVID, so around the pool, there was enough material to cover their mouth,
and then maybe something else,
and their private area.
I know.
In front,
so many Speedos.
The private area in front and back. They didn't cover. That wasn't necessarily covered.
You don't see that as much now because I think more of Americans are going on MSC, but back a couple years ago, so many Speedos. Like,
so many Speedos and thongs.
So many. Anyway, so we're in the middle of this cruise that we are loving.
I had to bring my own Lysol wipes so I could wipe down like all the lounge chairs before we sat them, because
that's not true, because you didn't sit on a lounge chair.
Sorry.
Okay. So we're in the middle of this week. We're having such a good time. We had a wonderful dinner. We're so excited to go to this show. And we're watching this show, and both of us are like, there was just, you didn't know what was going to happen next. There wasn't a storyline you could follow. There wasn't like a lineup of songs that you didn't know. It was the weirdest show. Now,
can I just tell you the premise of it?
Yes. Is it your premise or the real premise?
The real premise.
Okay, yeah.
The real premise is there's a magical forest. Mm-hmm. One of the members of KISS.
This is yours.
No, this is the real one.
This is yours.
I checked. I called MSC, and they said this is it.
Okay, go ahead.
Word for word, what they told me.
All right.
A member of KISS decides to live there.
Mm-hmm. In the magical forest. Okay. Yes.
But in order, there are immigration laws in the magical forest. Mm-hmm. In order for him to live there, he needs to marry an owl or eagle woman.
Okay.
So there's a ceremony performed by a witch doctor.
Okay. I do remember that.
Yeah, by the witch doctor, and it's attended by Wonder Woman, the best man and the best woman, Wonder Woman, and a werewolf. Uh-huh. That was the best woman and the best man for the wedding, from the KISS member to the eagle woman, performed by the witch doctor.
Okay.
That's
right.
it. And for good
Can I
measure,
go on with my story?
hold on. It's very important to the plot point of the mystical forest.
Okay.
Very important.
Okay.
Woody from Toy Story comes out and sings Hotel California.
He does. I do remember that.
And then curtain and standing ovation. That's it. That's the story.
So we are watching, and exactly what Chris is saying, but we don't know any of this stuff is happening. So we're just like it. I just remember like having such fun anticipation, seeing like what. And there was one other thing before I talk about steampunk is that the very end of the show, when they did the big hurrah, the last like big song, like there was like 20 characters that came out that weren't in the show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, just like they introduced
they were just
like
random, and they just all came out and did this one last number, and then that was it.
Like suddenly there's like a man made of stone that's 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
just like
it's
walks
super
out,
random.
and you're like, where did that guy come from?
So,
how does he fit into this story?
So about halfway through this, like very random, so entertaining. You look over in the corner. So we were sitting in the right side of the theater.
Yep.
And so if you looked over onto the stage on the left side, kind of in the back, he never came out. He never was prominent. Was this little dancing egg, and he has this little pipe coming out of his head, and so that's kind of where we named it, kind of like Steampunk Humpty Dumpty, because it looks like a steampunk egg. I mean, that's exactly what he looks like.
He's definitely steampunk.
Yeah.
And he's got like goggles.
Yeah.
He's got like the little aviator goggles,
right?
And
which kind of plays a big part in steampunk. So
yeah.
But he doesn't interact with any other person or thing. He's not in the show. He doesn't even bop to music. He just is over bopping by himself.
Yeah, like the music is a completely different beat.
He's only there for like a couple minutes, like 2-3 minutes. And then he goes back off the stage.
He came back out for the wedding.
And then he came back out, and then he
wedding.
went back.
Yeah.
So
he was invited.
All of this to say, what I'm trying to say is I want you guys to kind of understand why we are like talking about Steampunk Humpty Dumpty 2.5 years later. So it was just the best trip, right? So we take that weird little steampunk egg character that has nothing to do with the show and this fantastic show, and we kind of use it to symbolize how much we enjoy the uniqueness and fresh take and just the cruise that what MSC is. So all of the things that we love about MSCs, you can tell because we have a whole cruise cast on it. We kind of utilize Steampunk Humpty Dumpty to symbolize that. Is that right?
That's 100% right. He was fun and weird and different and not necessarily easily to be pigeonholed. Right. You didn't know exactly.
It wasn't like a perfect show. Yeah.
It is MSC in a character. That's why we always are like making fun of, not really, but yes, we are making fun of MSC, saying you need to have Steampunk Humpty Dumpty as your spokes egg.
Right.
Because he's way better than Dormy. Way better than Dormy. Dormy is just a little,
exactly.
Hey, everybody. I'm sunshine. That's Dormy.
Hold on. First of all, why is he called Dormy?
Well, it's supposed to be Do-Re-Mi, but for a year, Beth, every time she read it, thought it was Dormy.
Their kids club. There's no dash. There's no period. There's no space. It's just all one word, Dormaland. So I always read it as Dormaland. Until I realized it was supposed to be Do Re Mi Land. So anyway, we call this little sunshine, the little thing. It's like on the boarding day when you get on.
Hey everybody, come dance with me. I'm Doremi.
So now we have to call it Doremi instead of Do Re Mi. And also, Chris has assigned it the voice of the gingerbread man from Shrek.
Oh, is that where I got that from?
That's where you got that from.
Okay.
Doesn't it sound exactly like that? So anyway, that's what that's how Doremi sounds like. So in essence, so I guess people are probably looking at this like, why or do you want Steampunk Humpty Dumpty? And for us, it just exactly what Chris says. It encapsulates everything that we love about MSC. And then now we don't have Steampunk Humpty Dumpty anymore. So I want to tell. So when you after that, I want to just tell you kind of a little bit about what happened when we were on the seashore in our quest to find him.
Okay. Because we do have a little. We don't have him up on stage,
right? But we have him.
Well, we have him in a couple of places. One, really, if you've experienced Steampunk Humpty Dumpty. He now lives
right here.
Steampunk.
He lives on our stickers now.
That's right. We carry him
around. Can I just tell you that this sticker?
He lives on through us. If nobody else, but it sounds like other people are carrying the torch for Steampunk Humpty Dumpty 2.
Because if you realize that MSC needs to stay unique and different, and it does not need to completely Americanize themselves and become like every other cruise line, MSC has to have that difference, and they have to stay Italian and stay the way they are and keep their roots without like just becoming bland. I don't want to cruise bland.
No, that really is a huge part of the draw of MSC, I think.
And we're being like really serious right now.
Yeah, they're just unique.
Yeah,
it's
just a different take on a lot of things. So,
it just feels different.
Yeah,
like sometimes you go on like NCL, and then you go on Princess. And you're like, except for the name and,
some things that can
the appearance.
Yeah.
It kind of feels the same.
Yeah.
Although I will shout out, Prima had a dance party.
Really?
Yeah, a disco dance party. It was like interactive with the crowd where there were performers. That was the closest thing I've seen to MSC Entertainment.
Oh, wow.
It was really kind of fun but they were all kind of just disco-y. And so it was characters like, I'm just a wild disco guy, but it was still fun.
Right.
Because it just felt different and unique.
I didn't go on that one.
I'm just saying, sometimes when you get on different ships, it can just kind of feel the same. Like Carnival just kind of feels a little bit like Royal, they just kind of feel this, and MSC is just a unique experience because they're just a little bit, and I say this believe me, very lovingly, they're a little off.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm okay with that. We're okay with that.
Absolutely, it's their charm.
Yeah.
Is there just a little...
maybe not when you're in the middle of it, but it's still okay.
Well, even when you're in the middle of it, it kind of puts a little smile on your face, just kind of how sometimes they're just a little weird.
Yeah.
They're just a little weird. Now, I understand, like, on their land side of things, when you're not around the funness of being on a cruise, that could be a little challenging.
It can be, yeah.
But... that carries over onto their cruise, and that it's just done just a little bit uniquely, not a little bit, very uniquely, and that's the charm of
absolutely. And we don't
want to see them change.
Right. I mean, yes, I agree. And so Chris and I are on a quest to bring positive news about MSC. I mean, I think that things have changed a little bit, and it's definitely not as negative as it used to be. But there's still people out there who prefer to highlight the negative. So that's our MSC Cruise Cast is our quest to bring all info to you guys.
Exactly. And just, well, I mean, we do try to stay positive, definitely.
How to get around and how to work around some of the more challenging parts.
Well, I was just going to say, we definitely like to look for the positive in things, because why not? If you're looking for the negative, you're going to have a bad time.
Miserable.
If you look for the positive, you're probably going to have a good time.
Right.
So we kind of look for the positive in things.
Yeah.
But we like to just show what happens, what it's really like.
Right.
And when we went on MSC, we realized it's not really like what's out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a little different, but
it's definitely worth trying if you haven't. Yeah.
Different isn't bad.
Not at all.
Do we have to get out children's books and hand them out to everybody that wrote or produced those horrible reviews of MSC and be like, see, different is good. They have to go watch Sesame Street.
That's right.
Different is good.
So these Steampunk Humpty Dumpty stickers, if we ever meet you guys on a cruise, we'll have these and we'll give them out. But they also have become our little business cards too. So
that's the only way you're going to get one of those Steampunk Humpty Dumpty stickers.
You have to meet us on a cruise.
You have to meet us on a cruise.
They're really cool. You have to look at it, because then it actually, there's a back to it as well.
There's a cutaway of what's inside Steampunk Humpty Dumpty.
It's Steampunk's insides. So let me just quickly, how are we doing on time? Do I need to... Because we thought this was going to be like
a little over 30 minutes.
We thought this was going to be like a really short podcast, which it never is, because we always just talk. Okay, so we originally saw Steampunk Humpty Dumpty back seashore in 2022. So every cruise that we've gone on, we've kind of been like, oh, is there going to be a fun, weird show that we might see him? And we haven't. So
we keep hoping that we get on the ship immediately, instead of, hey everybody, I hope we don't drown. Dormy in the lobby or in the atrium. We're hoping that we see Steampunk Humpty Dumpty instead, just bopping there, welcoming people. But they've invested in the Dormy character.
Like, I mean, it's kind of like on their ship's hull and stuff, so they might not like change that. And I think we went over the video on it, but I tried so hard to find someone to talk to while we were on the seashore this last time. And they did kind of like make it a little bit more understandable of why we haven't seen him.
So let me just say, because I want to put it in chronological order. The first show that we went to, which was, or maybe it was the second show, but anyway, one of the first shows, which was the Road to Nowhere. Which is a fabulous.
It was good.
That's second to Mystic Forest. That was great.
It was a good one, yeah. Like
mystifyingly
opened a book and they got like
wonderful.
Sucked into the land in the book. It was really cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
You went backstage.
I did. Who here can say that they went backstage on a cruise ship?
You just said, I'm just going to go backstage. I didn't even have my camera ready. And you just walked up there and went up there. And I just turned it on really quick so I could get that.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And we weren't getting answers anywhere. Well, actually, I spoke to someone in the entertainment office first. Then I went backstage.
Oh, see, I never even saw the entertainment office thing.
You didn't see that.
I thought that was like the next day, because when we got the note like on the third day.
Yeah.
So I thought that, I didn't even know that. I'm just finding that out now. I didn't know that you went to the entertainment office, first of all.
I was being sneaky because I was trying to like was trying to like get information as best as I could. Sometimes a woman's just got to do what a woman's got to do. So I just took care of it.
And then when we got the note a few days later, Chris I assumed that you went to the entertainment office like the next day or something. I didn't realize it was before that show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
So, so I asked, I didn't even know there was, I mean, I'm assuming there's an entertainment office, but, I asked somebody, hey, I need to talk to the entertainment director. Is there someone I can talk to? And she told me to go upstairs and there's an entertainment office. And if you know MSC ships, you know, like all their walls are like lacquered and flat and they don't have easy signage anywhere. So I'm like looking about all the walls and then I saw like a door handle and I assumed that was the entertainment office. It was kind of right as you're kind of walking into the theater. So I guess it's kind of right there. And knocked, and this very, very nice young man walked out. Kind of like, you know, when you like open the door and kind of like lean out, like you really like don't want to like 100% commit to the conversation. He's just kind of like, yeah. And so I kind of told him my plight that, you know, we had seen Steampunk Dumpty, you know, he was this egg character in the show, and I'm trying to find out. I like to talk to someone. I want to see if that character's ever coming back.
Can I just say really quick before you get into it, did you actually use the words egg character, or did you say he was an egg? He was like a steampunk Humpty Dumpty egg.
I said he was a steampunk Humpty Dumpty, like an egg character.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did say those words.
Okay.
And
well,
that's why they're...
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he seemed nice enough, but like... he didn't seem really engaged with me and just kind of, it felt like a blow off. So like he just told me, oh, well, I am not really the entertainment director, but I'll let him know and we'll get back with you. Yeah.
I would have blown you off too.
No kidding.
If you'd come and I'm like, yes, can I help you? And you're like, yeah, there's this egg that I'm looking for.
I know.
Everybody wants to see this egg.
Well, I didn't say that at that time. I was just like, I'm just finding out if there's ever like, anyway. So
anyway, if you come to the door and asked about an egg, I would be like,
sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll get back with you. Okay. And he didn't have anything to write down. He asked my cabin number and I said 5142. And he's like, okay, we'll let you know. Fine. And then so I like left. I didn't even tell Chris because I was like, well, that went nowhere. Like that's not going to happen. And then after that is when I went backstage and talked to the head singer and told her that so many of you guys are wanting Steampunk Humpty Dumpty back. And
it's an army of people.
It's an army of people asking for Steampunk Humpty Dumpty. And she was like it was funny because her face when I was talking to her, I did the same spiel as I did to her. You guys had this character, it was in this show, and she kind of has like this deadpan face, like, again, okay. And so then I started to say, and you can hear in the video that we put out, you can hear some of me talking. I'm just like, so many people want to see this character, like we're so excited to see. And then she starts to like, her face starts to like open up and she starts to be like, oh, like then she starts to like click that like maybe I'm not just being weird,
insane,
crazy. And she starts to connect with me a little and she's like, oh really people like want to see that character. And I'm like, yeah, da, 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 da. And I said, we have a YouTube channel and people are asking. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she kind of gives me that, like, I kind of felt like maybe I kind of connected with her on that. She's like, well, I have to like, you know, they don't have that show anymore. So we don't have that character, but I'll have to let them know that. So like, she was like, it was a great little conversation, which we got some of it recorded. And then it was after that. So it was like 2 or 3 days. And
it was
then
3 days after
3
that.
days.
Because I literally thought when we got the note that you went the day before that, which was the day after we went to see Road to Nowhere. So
we still have this. And I noticed an interesting detail of this letter that we got put on our bed. And it actually is like they went into some like work to do this because they printed this.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until you pointed it out.
They printed the envelope with our actual room number. Like it wasn't just like thrown in our room or handwritten with the thing. Like they actually like printed this out.
Maybe they just like at the beginning of a cruise, they just print
a
bunch of envelopes. Or at the beginning of the ship, they have like 10,000 to every cabin.
Every cabin ever.
And so, like, if you're in a cabin that nobody ever complains or talks to anybody about, they still have 9,978 of them.
So we do have the date on it. He did date it. And so apparently I was talking to Peter when I was up there. His name was Peter, and he's the water park supervisor. He must have just been hanging out with the entertainment director, kind of like, hey, nothing's going on in the water park right now. I'm just going to chat. And he's the one who answered the door.
I prefer to think that he's in charge of egg characters. But let me just say, before you read this note.
Yeah.
This is the greatest note. I'm going to put it in perspective.
Okay.
This is the greatest piece of written history.
Yep.
Since the Declaration of Independence.
That's a pretty strong statement. You got to back that up.
We got a note that had research behind it.
Yeah.
About an egg character.
Yep.
Hand delivered.
Yep.
To our room.
Yep. Probably not from
the
Peter.
The greatest.
This solidifies that Humpty
piece of written history ever put down on a piece of paper since the Declaration of Independence.
Steampunk Humpty Dumpty is real, and now we have like actual proof from MSC. So let me read you what Peter...
Right, to all those steampunk deniers?
Yeah.
No, we got it.
Good morning. Hoping you are enjoying the beautiful port of Costa Maya. You approached me last evening with inquiry about an egg character, which is in quotes, and I did say that. So he told me exactly what I said, egg character in the Mystic Theater show. So a little bit Mystic Forest, but that's okay. He got it. The feedback is that unfortunately the show is no longer there. However, you are still welcome to enjoy the amazing shows we currently have. Enjoy the rest of your cruise. I got a little smiley face and it says, thanks, Peter, the water park supervisor.
Right. So I choose to believe that the water park supervisor is in charge of egg characters. So whenever they have egg characters on the ship, like they kind of report to the water park supervisor.
That's his.
He's in charge of egg characters.
But
in all reality,
there was research.
He went and asked.
He did. There was feedback, he said. So yeah.
I would like to have a copy of those emails if they were around, where he sent an email to someone and said, we have a guest asking about a egg character, and I was just wondering if that egg character is in a show now presently on the ship, and if it is, which show. And then I want a security cam footage of the guy who was reading that email. Like, why do I have an email about an egg character? But I will answer it. No, we don't have an egg character.
So, but this is twice on this cruise that we kind of got a little poke in there, right? So whoever Peter asked now has this in their head, this egg character from this show. And now when I talked to the girl backstage, now she has it. So maybe like some it's like coming in at them different directions. Maybe we'll get Steampunk Humpty Dumpty back.
We will.
Somehow.
At some point, we will get Steampunk Humpty. I think we should have a Steampunk Humpty Dumpty cruise, personally.
Oh, okay.
Contact MSC and let them know.
They could be like, what? Are you going to share your...
Well, just real quick, just in another way that he lives on. We were walking through... Cozumel.
Yep. In the little shops.
Punta Langosta.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Lobster point, I think, or shrimp point or something like that. Okay. Langosta.
Okay.
And I looked over as they were walking through. And
he stopped me in my tracks.
I almost fell over.
Yes. Well, you have to say what it is for those who are listening.
There was a steampunk Humpty Dumpty character sitting in the middle of the candy. He looks like steampunk Humpty Dumpty. Well, it is a big, giant egg.
It's a Kinder egg.
Don't even say that.
Well, that's what it is. That's why it was in the middle of the candy. He's like...
No.
He's like, what? 1.5 foot tall?
He's right behind me. Right behind me. Yep. Sitting there. Will forever sit there behind me.
Well, what's interesting about it is it's a Kinder egg. So he's an egg, and he has like
he's a Kinder steampunk Humpty Dumpty, all right?
Well, absolutely. But he has like this aviation looking hat on. That's how he came. And he's full of Kinder eggs. So if you're familiar with those, they're just little like regular shaped plastic eggs that come with a tiny piece of candy and a tiny little toy in them. And they're like something for kids, right?
Yeah.
And so this big egg contained, how many little eggs were in it? Do you remember?
7, I think, or 8.
It was about $30 for this, which, was quite a lot to pay for candy.
We bought it at the port and the gift shop. So it was 5 times as much as it normally is.
So he has a smile. He doesn't look exactly like Steampunk Humpty Dumpty, but there might be some transformations coming.
Oh, there are transformations coming on.
We already have one thing for him.
We already got the goggles.
So we have like some like aviation looking.
It's kind of hard to buy things that are exactly his size.
Yeah,
so
it's hard to outfit him.
We were able to find the goggles. I found the goggles. I was like, those are perfect.
Yeah.
Like those are perfect size.
Yeah.
So we have to find a top hat, a coat, and
we got
somehow. What?
We have to like paint him or something to get the Kinder off.
Oh yeah, that'll all be gone.
Yeah.
And somehow we're gonna have to make a big staff with the lantern on it that he can hold.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of just a fun little. I know you guys have seen it in the background of our podcast ever since we've gotten back from the seashore, and you've like what is that? Maybe some of you've already known. But Chris wanted to wait until we kind of explain the whole story and kind of why we even talk about Steampunk Humpty Dumpty. So I hope that we've kind of like
why is it such a special place in the background of our podcast?
Right,
and why do we talk about him so much?
Right.
Because
he embodies the wonderfulness of MSC. So that's our story. That's story time today. So it's going to be fun as we continue to find little parts and pieces for our new little egg character. You'll see them as we'll kind of post some things, but
right. Whenever we find like a little jacket and a top hat, we're gonna have to probably take pictures and send them an email to the water park supervisor, Peter, the water park, and get them approved.
Oh, okay.
Because he's in charge of egg characters.
Okay. That's pretty much going to wrap up our podcast today. I hope you had just a little fun listening to the stories, and I hope you can appreciate who Steampunk Humpty Dumpty is and that he is real. And so you'll see some of that in the future.
And next week we'll be back with our hard-hitting news.
That will be
that we always do. We never do anything dumb on this on Taste Try Travel.
No, we're getting ready for our big trip on the Seascape in Yacht Club, so we're excited about that. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Yep.
Who knows what next week's podcast is going to be? We'll see.
I don't.
We appreciate you guys following us. Thank you for subscribing. Got to do Chris. This is what. This is Taste Right Travel. I'm trying to give some important information, and thank you all for being here. And Chris is over there making a joke.
That's our life.
How about you end it?
Bye, everybody.
Oh, jeez. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next podcast. Bye.
Bye.